Something's been brewing in Philadelphia. You can feel it in the atmosphere, you can see it in the headlines, but more than anything, you can sense it when you watch this team take the field. The Eagles, after 2 games, are sitting in a strange space. They're not struggling enough to be in panic mode, but they're not dominant enough to silence the questions either. It's that awkward in-between where fans are frustrated, the media is dissecting every snap, and yet, under the surface, there's a storm building, and not the kind that brings chaos, but the kind that flips a season on its head. Let's just call it what it is. This Eagles offense has not been exciting so far. It's been plain, predictable, even a little boring. That's not just the eye test speaking. That's what the film is showing. And for a team with this much talent on the offensive side of the ball, Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Saquon Barkley, fans expected fireworks from the start. Instead, it's been more like flickering sparks trying to catch flame. But here's the kicker. They are close. Painfully close. And if you actually watch the tape, you'll realize this offense is just 1 or 2 missed blocks, 1 broken tackle, 1 second of extra protection away from becoming one of the most explosive units in the league. Now, some people are ready to throw certain coaches under the bus. Kevin Patullo's name has come up more than once among fans who are already looking for someone to blame. The same way it happened last year with Kellen Moore, the year before that with Shane Steichen. But there's something you need to understand about the Eagles. There has been one true constant in this offensive identity: Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts. The coordinators may change. The faces on the sidelines may rotate. But the heartbeat of this team, the system, the structure, the discipline, it all comes back to Sirianni's philosophy and Hurts' execution. And that philosophy, at its core, is about ball security, turnover avoidance. It might not make for the flashiest highlights, but it wins football games. This is not an opinion. This is backed by hard numbers. Under Nick Sirianni, when the Eagles win the turnover battle, they are nearly unbeatable. Since 2021, they are 36-2 in games where they've come out ahead in the turnover margin. That's not just good, that's dominance. And when the turnover margin is even, they're still competitive at 8-7. Even when they lose the turnover margin, they're still winning 3 out of 4 games. That tells you everything about the DNA of this team. They're built to play smart, physical football. And when they protect the ball, they strangle the life out of opponents like a boa constrictor, slowly, methodically, and with zero mercy. But here's where the friction lies. We live in a football culture obsessed with stats, fantasy points, viral clips, and big plays. People want to see Hurts drop back and sling it 70 yards to A.J. Brown every drive. They want those highlight reel touchdowns, those crazy numbers that pop off the screen. And when they don't get them, the frustration builds. But go ahead and ask some of the league's best statistical quarterbacks how many Super Bowls they've won. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, they've all put up gaudy numbers. And yet, outside of Patrick Mahomes, where are the rings? See, winning football isn't about lighting up the box score. It's about situational awareness, execution, and not making the mistakes that beat yourself. That's where Jalen Hurts thrives. He doesn't force the deep ball just to get a highlight. He takes what the defense gives him. And when you're facing blitz-heavy defenses like Kansas City just threw at them, bringing pressure on over 60% of Hurts dropbacks, you don't have the luxury of waiting for a deep route to open up. You've got 2 seconds to get the ball out, or you're eating grass. That's just reality. Now let's talk about why this offense is closer to exploding than people realize. On the very first play of the game against Kansas City, they almost had a 70-yard touchdown to A.J. Brown. He was wide open, completely behind the secondary, and Hurts was locked in, ready to hit him in stride. But the protection broke down. Grant Calcaterra whiffed on his block. Kyle and grandson missed his assignment. And instead of a touchdown, Hurts had to escape and ended up fumbling. A disaster play that could have been a game-altering moment, if not for 2 missed blocks. That's how close they are. Later in the same game, there was another moment. Hurts found Devonta Smith over the middle in a quick-hit design, perfect against the blitz. Smith catches it in stride and has nothing but daylight in front of him. One-on-one with the DB. If he breaks that tackle, and it was a shoestring grab, barely enough to bring him down, he's gone. Touchdown. Another massive play that was right there for the taking. This isn't theory. This isn't hope. This is what the film shows. Two missed explosive touchdowns, both called up with smart play design, both spoiled by minor execution breakdowns. And that's what makes this offense so dangerous moving forward. They're not stuck because of a lack of creativity. They're not failing because they don't have the talent. They're just off by inches. And once those inches become completions, this whole offense opens up. But let's add context. The Kansas City game plan had a huge impact on what the Eagles could do offensively. When a defense is blitzing you 60+% of the time, you can't call long developing plays. You can't afford to roll Hurts out and wait for routes to stretch. That's not conservative play calling. That's just survival. You adjust or you get sacked all day long. So the offense shifted to quick throws, hot reads, short yardage attacks. Not because they wanted to, but because they had to. The deep shots weren't coming because there simply wasn't time. And that's where people on social media start screaming. Hurts only threw for 100 yards. Yeah, but did you watch the game? Or did you just look at the box score and tweet from your couch? The truth is, Jalen Hurts played a smart, tough game under extreme pressure. He made the throws he could. He didn't panic. He protected the ball when he had no business doing so in collapsing pockets. That's high-level quarterback play, even if it doesn't show up in fantasy points. Even Kevin Patullo said something this week that deserves more attention. He mentioned that this offense is built to peak later in the season, that the goal isn't to be at full throttle in September, but to build toward November, December, and January. And that's exactly what we've seen from Sirianni's teams in the past. This isn't the Miami Dolphins dropping 70 on Denver and then burning out by December. This is a team that wants to be rolling when it matters most. And if history tells us anything, it's that the Eagles know how to hit their So yes, right now the offense might not be fireworks and fantasy gold, but it's efficient, it's disciplined, and it's a couple of adjustments away from unleashing the deep ball we know Hurts can deliver. And that's the part people forget. Jalen Hurts might throw the best deep ball in the league. The touch, the anticipation, the arc. It's like watching vintage Russell Wilson with that moonball. The only thing missing right now is time in the pocket. Because when he gets it, that play to Smith, that look to Brown, there's 6 points waiting to happen. And if you look closer, there are more details pointing to why things have looked the way they have, and why it's actually not time to panic at all. Let's circle back to the deep shots, because this is where a lot of the heat has landed on Jalen Hurts and the offensive play calling. Through 2 games, Hurts has only completed 3 passes of over 10 yards. That number has led to some outrageous reactions online. People saying he's regressed, questioning whether he can lead this team again. But if you go beyond the numbers and watch the context of those games, you'll see something entirely different. Against Kansas City, Steve Spagnuolo called the most blitz-heavy game of his entire tenure in Kansas City. Think about that. He's been there since 2019. He's called playoff games. He's called Super Bowls. And yet, in this regular season game against the Eagles, he blitzed on 64% of Jalen Hurts' dropbacks. That's not just aggressive, that's an all-out assault. And it shows you the level of respect this team commands. The Chiefs didn't feel comfortable playing Hurts straight up. They didn't want to sit in zone or rely on 4-man pressure. They brought the heat over and over again, trying to rattle him, trying to break the timing of the offense before it could develop. So when fans ask, why aren't we throwing deep? The answer is simple. You can't throw deep when you're under siege from the snap. That kind of pressure forces quarterbacks into survival mode. You've got 2 seconds or less to make a decision, and that decision better be to get rid of the ball or take a hit. There's no waiting for routes to develop down the field. No time to set your feet and uncork a bomb. You're playing within the smallest window possible, and that's exactly what Hurts did. He didn't panic. He didn't force anything. He played within the chaos and still gave his team a chance to win. Even when the opportunities were there, like that shot to Devonta Smith, the protection had to be perfect, and it wasn't. That throw came against a 0 blitz. All-out pressure. Hurts recognized it instantly, stayed calm, and delivered a beautiful ball. That's elite quarterbacking. That's poise under fire. And even though the play didn't end in a score, it showed you the type of player Hurts is and why the Eagles trust him to run this offense, even when it looks limited on paper. But the numbers don't lie, and neither does the tape. This offense is operating with a level of caution that comes from a very specific philosophy. They want to control games, avoid turnovers, and win in the trenches. They believe they can break opponents down over 4 quarters, not blow them out in one. That's where the frustration lies for fans, especially those watching with fantasy football goggles on. They want those monster plays, those box score explosions. But Sirianni and this coaching staff have built a team that plays the long game. And right now, they're still winning while ironing out the wrinkles. That's a scary place to be if you're an opposing defense, because this offense hasn't even hit its stride yet. Let's also talk about the middle of the field, which has been oddly absent from the Eagles' attack so far this season. According to Pro Football Focus, Jalen Hurts and Steelers backup Mason Rudolph are the only quarterbacks in the entire league who haven't attempted a single pass between 10 and 19 yards in the middle of the field. That's stunning. And for a quarterback as talented as Hurts, that's an area you'd expect to see him exploit, especially with a guy like Dallas Goedert when healthy or with the route-running precision of Devonta Smith. Now, part of that can be explained by the blitzes. When you're under that kind of pressure, the first areas to disappear are the intermediate windows. They take a bit more time to open up. They require slightly longer reads. And in a blitz-heavy game, those reads get compressed fast. But still, it's a blind spot in this offense that needs to be addressed. Hurts might not have the same layering touch as someone like Aaron Rodgers or Brock Purdy. Those guys who can float a ball over a linebacker and drop it right in between safeties. But that doesn't mean you abandon that part of the field. The staff has to start scheming throws in that 10 to 19-yard range, especially on early downs, to keep defenses honest and open up the deeper shots later. The staff knows it too. Kevin Patullo talked about this stretch like it's part of the process, that the offense is going through growing pains now for the sake of long-term growth. And there's value in that. If you're going to struggle, September is the time to do it, not December. The Eagles aren't trying to peak in week 3. They're trying to get stronger every week and be at full power when the playoffs roll around. It's a strategy that's worked for them before. In 2021, 2022, and again in 2024, this team built momentum late. That's not coincidence. That's by design. You don't want to be the team that comes out of the gate looking unstoppable, only to fizzle when it matters. That's what happened to the Dolphins last year. They dropped 70 points in a single game and had everyone crowning them Super Bowl contenders in September. But when it got cold and tough and physical, they crumbled. That's not how the Eagles operate. This is a franchise that understands what a full season looks like, and they prepare accordingly. And if there's one thing that should give Eagles fans confidence, it's how Jalen Hurts has handled all of this. The guy has been under constant pressure, playing behind patchy protection, with limited time and limited play options, and still, he's remained composed. He's been efficient. He's avoided the big mistakes. And when the opportunities have been there, he's taken them. That's the mark of a mature quarterback. One who knows it's not about winning the quarter, it's about winning the game. It's not about silencing Twitter on Sunday night. It's about getting the win and moving on. Hurts has also been exceptional against the blitz, despite how often he's been hit. He's reading defenses fast, getting the ball out quicker than ever, and making smart decisions under pressure. That 2.1-second release time against Kansas City, that's elite. That's a quarterback doing exactly what he's supposed to do in that situation. Could there be more downfield shots? Absolutely. But again, you need the right conditions to make those throws, and lately, those conditions just haven't existed. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our Philadelphia Eagles. And don't be shy. Share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In a move that has sent shockwaves through the NFL, the Philadelphia Eagles reportedly pulled off what many are already calling one of the most audacious acquisitions in recent memory. Sources suggest that the Eagles have announced the signing of Dallas Cowboys superstar linebacker Micah Parsons, a development that, if confirmed, could upend the balance of power in the NFC. While neither team has officially confirmed all the details, the buzz is already deafening across social media, sports talk shows, and stadium stands. Parsons, a defensive force known for his combination of speed, strength, and instinct, has been a cornerstone of the Cowboys' defense since his rookie season. The thought of him donning the green and white of Philadelphia instead of the silver and blue of Dallas has left fans and analysts alike scrambling to make sense of the situation. Some speculate that Parsons' move could signal a shift in the Eagles' defensive strategy, potentially giving them one of the most feared linebacking core in the league. Others argue it might be a calculated risk, trading team chemistry for raw talent in an all-out push for a Super Bowl run. The timing of this alleged deal adds another layer of intrigue. With the NFL season looming and both teams facing high expectations, the ripple effects of such a move could be felt immediately on the field. Cowboys fans, predictably, are in a state of disbelief, while Eagles supporters are reveling in what could be a game-changing coup. Analysts are already speculating on how the coaching staff will integrate Parsons into Philadelphia's schemes, noting that his versatility allows him to wreak havoc both as a pass rusher and in coverage. Even more fascinating is the speculation around what this means for the Cowboys' future. Could Dallas be planning a rebuild or signaling internal tensions that reached a breaking point? Meanwhile, Philadelphia seems poised to make a bold statement. No rival is untouchable, and the pursuit of championship glory might justify the most headline-grabbing moves. Rumors are swirling about contract details, trade conditions, and potential domino effects that could reshape the NFC landscape entirely. While nothing is official yet, the mere whispers of Micah Parsons in an Eagles uniform have already sparked endless debate. Talk radio is ablaze, social media is flooded with memes, and fans across the country are holding their breath. Whether this is a calculated masterstroke or a story that will fizzle out remains to be seen, but one thing is clear. The NFL just got a whole lot more exciting. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Philadelphia Eagles, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.